for the Frankslist review. What's up everybody, I'm Keelan, and today we're going to be kicking off a new segment on the channel. After doing my review for the rough cut proof of concept, I realized that there's probably going to be other opportunities that I get where I'll be able to check out unreleased projects or just things that aren't quite available to the public. And I wanted to make sure that there was some sort of clarity for you guys as the viewers on when I'm reviewing something that is not really available for you guys to watch quite yet versus something that is available to everybody and that you'll be able to go and check out for yourself. So with that in mind, welcome to the first episode or segment of what I'm going to be calling Before the Credits. And to kick things off, we've got a short film made by my friends over at Gremlin Express titled Frankslist. Frankslist is a genre-bending absurdist satire that blends heightened comedy and thriller tension with just a sprinkle of horror. Written, directed, and starring Christine Salazzi, it follows Meg Chambers, who finds herself in quite the predicament while waiting for a job interview. Either save the building from a bomb or don't.
Make your choice.
Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I try to keep it very transparent here on this channel. So honestly, on my first watch, while I thought it was a really well-made short film, it really just wasn't for me. But after sitting on it for a few days and then giving it a couple more rewatches, I ended up laughing way more than I did the first time. I'm usually not the biggest fan of comedy in horror, so maybe it was that, or maybe I had a different expectation for what the film was gonna be and then I was caught off guard by what it was. Either way, when I came back to it with an open mind, I had a blast. The louder comedic moments landed, and I was actually able to pick up on some of the subtle silliness sprinkled throughout the film. And once I allowed myself to sink into the weirdness of Frankslist and just embrace what it was going for, it actually turned into quite a fun experience. Now, I have to be careful not to spoil anything because, like I said, it is unreleased, but I will go ahead and give you guys a bit of a play-by-play as to what happened in the film, so that way you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what to expect and hopefully pique your interest so when it does become available to the public, you'll go ahead and check it out for yourself. The short opens up with Meg walking down the street and arguing with somebody on the phone who clearly is not happy with her decision to accept any sort of job from Frankslist, which I think is sort of a play on Craigslist, but if that's supposed to be obvious, I never claimed to be the brightest. She then explains to the person on the phone that she's about to lose her apartment, so she doesn't really have a choice and that she needs the money, which is honestly a really genius setup because it's so relatable. Most people in their lives have felt that sort of stress that comes with not knowing where your next meal might come from or if you're going to be able to have enough money to pay for the things that you need to afford. And sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. When Meg enters the building, she's greeted by a very sketchy dim lit hallway with a tiny door at the very end of it marked with a sign saying through here. And then she, like I'm sure many of us would, hesitates to enter, but then those pesky overdraft fee notifications pop up on her phone and remind her that she doesn't have a choice. So she pushes forward. So one thing that immediately stood out to me is the sound design. It's honestly phenomenal. The way that they use sound to emphasize tension, comedy, or even silence itself really elevates the atmosphere. It's kind of like seasoning, and they sprinkle it just right throughout the film.
Bam, 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 bam.
And then Meg decides to climb through that little door into a pitch black room, only accompanied by the sound of keyboard clicking. Then suddenly the lights flicker on and we're treated to just a glimpse of the madness that is promised ahead. She's instructed to take a scooter and ride the scooter a couple of feet to the receptionist's desk, where she's greeted by none other than the receptionist, who's played by Alessandra Levy. The receptionist is extremely animated, whispering 1 second, shouting the next, and firing off a laundry list of different job positions. When Meg tells her what job position she's there to interview for, the receptionist is not having it and refuses to believe it. That's when Meg pulls out this little piece of paper from her pocket with the word interview at 5:30 written on it. And the receptionist takes a big old whiff of it, and proclaims that it passed the smell check. She's then instructed to take a seat in the waiting area until she's called upon for her interview. And that is where she meets Jane, played by Katie Novotny, another potential hire who casually drops that she planted bombs in the building and now, due to some miscalculations in her plan, needs assistance in defusing the bombs before they go off in 15 minutes. And this section probably has some of the most funny dialogue of the whole film. It's super ridiculous, but that, I promise, is meant as a compliment. It's stupid stupid in like the best way possible. Shortly thereafter is my personal favorite scene in the entire film, which involves one of those bombs I was talking about being located inside of a toilet tank. Oh boy. Which, unfortunately for Meg, is currently being occupied by an employee who clearly did not get the memo that burritos from the gas station is not a good pre-work meal. And being in a desperate situation the way that Meg is, she is forced to climb over this poor guy named Dave, played by a friend of the channel actually, Mitchell Slan, just so that she can reach the bomb, only to realize it's not even there. The horror on their faces in this scene is honestly so hilarious. This scene specifically gets the biggest laugh out of me. It's such low-hanging fruit, if I'm being completely honest, but that's kind of my humor. And also, who doesn't love a good poop joke? So very, very funny and hilarious scene. After that, Meg then returns to the lobby, exhausted and on the verge of a breakdown, when she's told that Miss Smith, played by Rebecca Gomberg, is ready to see her for her interview. Will they survive? Will the bombs go off, or will she get to them in time? And will Meg get the job? You'll just have to wait till Frankslist goes out to the public for you to find out. There's still a couple more minutes of footage after this point that I really don't want to say anything about because I just want to steer completely clear of giving any sort of information away that shouldn't be put out there. But trust me, it gets even wackier, crazier, and it's full of unexpected turns. Frankslist is expected to do its rounds on the festival circuit for the next year, and then I believe that it's going to come out to the public after that. And when that time comes, I will for sure do a full-on breakdown of the movie. So be sure to keep your ears and eyes out for when that time comes. There's something so delightfully preposterous about this movie that I found myself laughing about things that I probably wouldn't laugh at on a regular basis. If you like the idea of a real-world high-stakes scenario twisted up into a hilariously bizarre ride, then Frankslist is definitely one for you to look out for. And Christine, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to check out your film before most people do. It was a lot of fun. It was so funny. And I can't wait to see what you have coming next. And I hope that you find all the success you're looking for on the film festival circuit. So, does Frankslist sound like a movie that you'd like to check out yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of my new uploads. Thanks for watching Kill the Credits. Be safe as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.